All right, in this video, this is going to be part one of two different tutorials that will tell you how to publish your short stories in a digital form using Scratch Junior. So first things first, you need to find the app, download it on your iPad. Mine happens to be inside of this folder called Class Resources. So I'll find the icon for Scratch Junior, which looks like this, and I'm going to tap on it. This is what will come up when you enter the app. All right, I need to select the plus sign right here underneath where it says My Projects in order to get started on creating my story. So I'm going to tap on that plus sign, and this is what will come up. Now, it will automatically, every time you add a page to your story, it's going to come up like this, where the background is blank, but the little icon logo, Scratch the Cat, will come up. Well, I don't have a cat in my story. So with my finger over here on this orange box that has a picture of the cat and it says cat and it has a little picture of a paintbrush, I need to press and hold, and you'll see that that box starts to wiggle and an X will come up. I'm going to tap on the X to get rid of that cat. Now that I have a nice blank slate, a blank background, I can go ahead and start adding things. First things first is you need to think about what are the settings in your story. Where does your story take place? If it only takes place in one location, then you just have to add one background. My story that you all heard last week has 3 backgrounds, so I need to have 3 different slides to represent those 3 different settings. Okay? To add a background to my blank slide here, I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to tap right on this little rectangle that has a picture of a landscape. That will bring me to my background options. So the background options you see here are always preloaded onto Scratch Junior. So if one of these backgrounds works to fit your story, perfect. I happen to have one that's a classroom, so I'm going to use that. Don't feel that you have to. You can also draw your own or take pictures of your own, but I'm going to choose that one, and then I'm going to tap on this check mark to select it. And you'll see that I have that background. Okay. Now my second setting is in a hallway. So to add another background at another slide, I need to press on this plus sign right underneath the small icon of my classroom. So I'm going to tap on that. It adds a new slide. You'll see that now I have 2 slides over here. It's blank except for the cat, which I don't need. So once again, I'm going to come over here with my finger. I'm going to press and hold on the picture of the cat in the upper left-hand corner and hit the X until he disappears. Now, this time I'm going to hit background, and then I'm going to select this paintbrush tool. With this paintbrush tool, you can actually draw in a background for your story. So the second place in my story happens to be a hallway. So I'm going to select this squiggly line. This means I can free draw, and then I can choose what color I want. So you'll see that I've tapped on black, but if I wanted to change it up, I've got lots of different paint options. I'm going to choose black, and since my second scene is a hallway, I'm going to do my best to make this look like a hallway. Let's see if I can switch my color. And if I click this fill bucket on the side, that didn't fill it in. So I'm going to undo. I don't like how that looks. So I'm going to click this undo arrow in the top corner. And I'm going to go back to clicking my draw tool right here. And I'm going to imagine, switch my color back. I'm going to imagine that there are some classrooms. Here's room 2, here's room 3, maybe put a little doorknob on there. All right, maybe I'll line some up on the other side of the hallway as well. Maybe this will be classroom 4 and classroom 5, okay. Perhaps in the middle, there might be a bulletin board hanging up between the 2 classrooms, maybe a bulletin board hanging over here. All right, I can be as creative as I want with my background. Once I have it the way that I like it, and again, if I want to fill something in a certain color, it has to be all the way closed in. So if you look over here, this door is all the way closed in. So if I wanted to make that door brown, I could select my brown color along the bottom. Then I could select this paint bucket, and then if I just tap on the door, it makes it brown. All right, this one I think is all closed in too, so I can color that one in. You'll notice if I press number 4, it's not all the way, I didn't connect those lines, so if I try to fill it, oh, it did work that time. Will it work for 5? It did. So my doors are colored in. Very nice. All right. So let's say I like the way it looks. My background is complete. So I'm going to hit this check sign, check mark in the corner. And I have my second scene there in the hallway. Now, as I said, I have one more background. So I need to come over here to this plus sign once again. I'm going to tap on it. I'm going to delete, scratch the cat because I don't need him. And then I'm once again going to select this background option. Okay. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to select the paintbrush, but this time instead of drawing my background, okay, I'm going to enter a picture. So to do that, I need to come over to the side and select the box option. Draw a box here. Then I'm going to tap on this camera icon. And then I'm going to just tap the center of the box. It becomes a camera. Okay, I'm going to switch it around. Now there are a couple different options here. We can, you might draw a character and we can take a picture of it this way. Or, which is what I'm going to do, you can pull up a scene on a different device and take a picture of it screen to screen. Or we can print a colored picture and take a shot of it that way. So now I have a camera. I'm going to get in really close so you just see the room, the cafeteria, which is my final scene. I'm going to make sure it's focused, and I'm going to hit this button along the bottom to take a picture. And now I have my other background. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark, tap the check mark, and now you'll see I have my 3 different scenes, 1, 2, and 3 along the side. Now remember, when we write a story and when we put a story together, even in its final form, which is what we're doing here, we want to do it in order. So I'm going to go back to my classroom and I have to think about what things do I need here. And those things, the characters and objects and props, those you will add by tapping on this plus sign over here. So I'm going to tap on this plus sign. And here are all the preloaded characters that are available. If one of these seems like it will work for you, great, you can use it. If not, you can draw your own using the paint tools, or you can draw your own on paper and we can take a picture of it and add it that way. So they do happen to have a rabbit. Knowing that my main character is a rabbit, I'm going to tap on the rabbit and I'm going to hit the check mark in the upper right hand corner. But I describe my rabbit in the story as being white. So I'm going to tap right here next to where it says rabbit on the upper left hand side. I'm going to tap on that paintbrush, and along the bottom I got to make sure that this is on fill, the fill paint bucket. I'm going to select white and I'm just going to tap on my rabbit, and there I have Frankie the white fluffy rabbit. I'm going to hit my check mark in the corner once again, and here's Frankie. Now in my story I describe him as being on a table in a cage. So I'm going to come over here to add props that will work for that. So if I hit that plus sign and I scroll down, that's where I start to see some props, or I can draw my own. They have a couple different table options here that I could put Frankie's cage on. I'm going to choose this small circular table. I'm going to hit the check mark to add it. Okay, I didn't see any props in there that looked like a cage, which means that I will have to draw my own, which is fine. I can come over to this plus sign. I'm going to tap it with my finger, and I'm going to go to the blank screen and hit paintbrush. And now from here, I could actually draw my cage for Frankie. Give it some lines going this way. All right, I'm going to press this fill bucket in the corner and make it white. All right, and when it looks the way I want it to, I'm going to hit the check in the corner. Okay, and I can move Frankie's cage wherever I like. Now, whatever size you make it, you can't resize it once it's on here. So if I decide that that's too big and I don't want that anymore, I can press and hold along the side till that box wiggles. I can exit out and I can go try to make a new one of a different size by hitting that paintbrush. Maybe I'll use this tool and make it a black outline. Oops, go back. There we go. And I'm going to free draw some lines in there to make it look like a cage. I'm going to press the fill bucket, make it white, and I'm going to press the check. All right, that's more my size. So I'm going to put that up on the table, and I'm going to put Frankie up on the table there, because that's where he's going to start. Now, I also described in my story that there were things lying around on the floor. So I'm going to come over here to the plus sign, and I'm going to draw some scraps. Get my draw tool. I need to change my color. Undo, black. I mentioned that there were pieces of paper, scraps of paper lying around on the floor. Oops, fill bucket. So I'm going to add that paper and leave it lying on the floor. I mentioned that there were pencils lying on the floor, so I'm going to once again come over here to the prop character plus button. I'm going to select blank and paintbrush. My draw tool. Oops. Make sure it's in black. Make a pencil there. Okay. Again, I'm doing this quickly just so I can demonstrate. I'm going to hit the check mark, and I'm going to leave the pencil lying somewhere on the floor, maybe over here, underneath this desk. Again, if I think it's too big and I want to make it smaller, I can always just delete that and then try again till it works. All right, so that scene is set. I've got all the props that I need there, and I've got Frankie. I'm going to go to my second scene. I don't need any props in this scene except for Frankie. So I'm going to come over here to the plus sign, and you'll see that Frankie's already in here because I've used him before. So I can just tap him, hit the check mark, and there he is. And for now, I'm just going to leave him wherever. I'll come back later and code him so that he will move. And then I'm going to go into my final place, which is my cafeteria. Now, in the cafeteria, there are a couple of items that I need. Thinking to my story, I know that I need Frankie, so I'm going to click him and click the check mark. He's going to have to be here. Now, I also need Mr. Willingham, my custodian. So I'm going to tap on this plus sign underneath the rabbit, and I'm going to search and see if there's kind of a man that could be Mr. Willingham. And I'm thinking this could be Mr. Willingham right here. I'm going to hit the check mark. All right, there he is. And in the story, I mentioned him coming after Frankie with a broom. I didn't see a broom in here, so I'm going to go ahead and use paintbrush to draw my own broom. I'm going to do my best at. Again, if I want to make it a certain color, I'm going to press this fill button over here. Oops, no, I don't want that color. Let's put that color, and I want the handle to be brown. Okay, and then I'm going to save that. And there's his broom. Okay, so I've got all of my scenes, props, and characters set and in order. In the next tutorial, I'll explain how to record your story and how to code your characters so that they will move. Until then, go ahead and get started on this part of your project. Good luck. Feel free to watch this as many times as you need. Feel free to pause, fast forward, and rewind as you need. And of course, feel free to ask me questions in the classroom whenever you need to. Thanks for watching.